Hi, I'm Chris Pollock and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Centerline Finder for the guitar. Originally the Centerline Finder was made by Charles Fox, and there's also, you could go to frets.com and Frank Ford shows how he made one. But the style that I'm making is more after the style of Luthier Supply. It's a different type of neck grasping system which self-centers instead of a sliding system. Let's take a closer look at the body finder and see what it does. Centerline Finder helps you find the center line of the guitar, and it also allows you to be able to, you can set your bridge, lay out where your bridge has to be by using that attachment, and it's marked to where it takes in for the compensation. You can see the edge of the center line. These are the clamps that hold on to the neck. I'll remove it and then I'll show you roughly how you attach it. These lock down and this slides open. So what you could do is you could put a fake nut and you lay the center finder on the guitar, and then you squeeze the clamps in till it touches the edge, and then you saw how it kicked over there, found the center. Then you can put a fake nut, put it there, check it again, tighten down your lock, and now you have the center line of the edge line. When the clamps squeeze in, that shows you the center line, the edged part. And you can go all the way back and check it from the tail. Then you know if your neck needs to be adjusted, the yaw one way or the other. Then you can set your once you have that established, then you can set your saddle, your bridge. Here we have the bridge located. It's centered, squared, and compensated from a predetermined measurement. Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to show you how I made it. I should mention that also, whenever possible, if you could have a guard on your table saw, to have a guard on it. I left mine off, being the fact for the video, and later I'll be ripping some smaller pieces which a guard would be in the way. So you should always wear the proper safety and take the proper safety precautions, and always wear eye protection and hearing protection when appropriate. Okay, first thing I'll do is rip the plexi or polycarbonate, whatever you use, to 3 inches in width. I set up the saw, the table saw. I measure from the back tooth to the fence, and then I'll measure from the front tooth to the fence to make sure it's the fence is parallel to the blade. It's just as a safety precision type of thing. Just ripping the piece strip off, 3-inch strip. set my scribe to 1.5 inches. I set it using my calipers, so it's right on, and I measured it. And now I'm just going to score the center line down the blank. I have the blank clamped off to my work board, and I just take my time and score in the line. Carefully go over it a second time, pressing a little bit. Now I get to the end, I can't do it for the clamp, so I just move the clamp to the other side and complete the last little end piece. This will be getting cut squared off later. Now I've laid out the board for where I'll be drilling my holes and slotting for the adjustable centering arms. You can change these to meet your needs, but my first hole will be 2 inches from the edge. Then my second hole, where my slot will be 4 7/8 from the edge. And then the third hole, or where the slot ends, center will be 6 5/8. The distance, this upper number is the distance between 1 3/4 between these two holes and 2 7/8. That's the standard for the brackets because they're the same. Then the second set starts here, which starts 10 3/4 from the end. Then it's 13 5/8 from the end and 15 3/8 from the end. And that's your distance between again. I should also point out that from this edge here is where I held my scribe to. So I'm working and locating off of this edge. That's kind of important. So when I cut the ends off, each end off the length, I use this edge against the fence so that everything will be referenced off of this edge. And that's also so that when I go and enter this into I'm going to mill this out, use my mini mill to do this stuff. I'll be locating off of this edge also because that's the back of the vise that doesn't move. So you always want to try to locate off the same initial edge when you're doing like machine work. And in this case, this is basically machine work.